St. Lucians, building a new St. Lucians. Do you agree with that, that the new St. Lucians need to build a lot lines?
I believe you need to build a new, not a new St. Lucia. You need to build people. Development is about people. Development is not about renderings on the beach in Vieux-Fort. Development is about people. We need to get the people of St. Lucia, we need to build global citizens. That's what we need to build. Not consultants talking about Alicia Keys in buildings. I mean it's really amusing. And the question is, how much money have we paid this guy? You cannot maintain the fees that exist. But you have a guy with a derelict building that you were in the cabinet when that building was bought, $40 million of taxpayers' money plus interest, and you're speaking about Madison Square Gardens and putting in Alicia Keys to play music in this. I mean, what? That is taking the country for a ride.
Sir, you mentioned that the Labour Party was skeptical about the proliferation of these mega hotel developments.
No, I didn't say so. I said the time is coming. I didn't say that. I never said so.
Yeah.
I said the time is coming when we as a people have to decide by conversation whether mega hotels on our beaches is the only path for development of the country. That's what I said.
During the last term of the SLP in office, the Royalton solution was established. The SLP administration also invited the Fairmont Resort, the Range Development in Black Bay, all of which I think could be classified as mega developments. Can you point to any particular actions by the previous administration or a particular change in policy should you be invited to form the next government as to how the SLP administration would balance the development of other touristic properties vis-a-vis the typical plantation on the sea as referred to?
Yeah. And first of all, I'm sorry you were late. You didn't hear what I said. I've gone through that. I read that from the beginning. But I'm going to make the point. I'm going to make the point again. I said that the time has come for conversation on whether this is the way forward.
Did you think that the time was not right for conversation during your last?
The time is always right for conversation. You must always speak. People must always speak. People must always have discussion. First of all, the modus operandi of how the government is building these hotels was not our style. We never said that we'd sell a pass at $100,000, and we never said so. We never said that we'd sell our passports and lend the money to the investor at 2%. We never. So our style was different. Firstly, secondly, and I made a point before. When I was minister for tourism, I started the mantra. I said that there must be a philosophical basis for tourism, and it was the benefits of tourism must accrue to as many people as possible. And here's what we did. We started a nature heritage tourism program where we built or we developed natural sites, heritage sites, so that people could go to these sites, and the people in these sites, we help them develop them so that the tourism would get to the people. Secondly, we were the government that gave incentives to taxi drivers. Taxi drivers did not get incentives before. Again, the benefits of tourism accruing as many people as possible. I was a minister that initiated the development of the lookout station, both of the Mon and in Dennery. Again, to better the tourism filter to the people. I was a minister who initiated the opening of the so-called gate at Slasper. You know, as I was saying before, the history of St. Lucia has not been written properly. So a lot of young journalists like you do not know that. These are the things that we did. There was a gate between Slasper and the Vendors Arcade that was closed. Tourists couldn't come to the Vendors Arcade. I opened it, you understand? So it's all on the philosophy of labor. And I want to invite you to our values conference, where we're going to reinstate, we're going to reiterate these philosophies that people come first. People come first. And all the Labour Party's policies have been built about people coming first. Albeit, because of economic difficulty, sometimes our people's projects could not bear the fruit we wanted because of lack of finance. But people, and we did many things about people. Again, when we built the Bordelais prison, we were criticized heavily. You understand? All because it's only poor people's children who go to jail. Most of them. If you go to the prison now, 98% of the people there are people, what the president calls them, people from the inner cities. That is something I don't like to hear at all. From the inner cities, you understand? From the ghettos, we stigmatize many people. So our party has been in the forefront of putting people first.
As you said, are you still chairman of the Mercy Committee?
No, the chairman is a minister.
Okay, but as a former chairman, though, with all the talk now, especially the moves that Antigua has made right now concerning the whole marijuana, decriminalization of marijuana, the talk that's been going on, would you, should I be in this position, would you carefully now think of pardoning those who are in there for marijuana-related offenses, who are still in there? Even before decriminalization, I'm saying.
First of all, the Mercy Committee cannot give people mercy. The Governor General does that. So we had to make recommendations. The recommendations come from the prison, and then we go to the Governor General. And there are a lot of misunderstandings. The similar thing, I heard somebody talk about the Public Accounts Committee. How the Public Accounts Committee, and you hear people make these statements. Oh, the opposition is doing nothing. The Public Accounts Committee. The Public Accounts Committee is not a creature of the Constitution. The Public Accounts Committee is a creature of the standing orders, and it can only discuss things that come to the House. And then again, in our schools, we should be able to begin to teach people civic education, because a lot of things people say, there are no basis in the Constitution. It's just emotional. So, but coming back to marijuana, in our manifesto, we made the point that we would have created a commission to discuss, to use my favorite word, a conversation on marijuana, its legalization, its decriminalization, etc. A conversation. And it's still our position that when we get back in the government, we will have the broadest possible consultation with CARICOM or without CARICOM or within CARICOM as to what's the future of marijuana in St. Lucia.
Considering the DSH project and so many other projects and policies and everything, there are certain things that you need the whole nation to be focused on.
Yeah, but you see, the simplest thing for the Prime Minister to do would have been to bring the DSH project to the House of Parliament. You see, there's a contempt for the Parliament, a contempt for the representatives of the people, a contempt for the opposition that is ingrained in this government. A contempt for government that's only been less than 2 years in power. The contemptuous manner in which they dismiss the opposition. You write the Prime Minister, he doesn't even answer you. He doesn't even acknowledge receipt of the letter. And it has happened before. Sir John Compton, that the French Prime Minister heralds as his hero. When there was a major investment in the Hess Oil Corporation, Sir John Compton brought it to the Parliament of St. Lucia. Brought it for discussion in the Parliament of St. Lucia. Now, question is, the Prime Minister cannot deny that DSH is controversial. DSH has brought people who are not involved in politics. DSH has brought people who are non-Labour Party supporters. It has brought environmentalists. It has brought people who are apolitical. It has brought them to ask questions. Any Prime Minister any government who doesn't see the people, who is not contemptuous, would say, listen to me, this is massive. This is 1,000 acres of land that we are developing. 1,000 acres of land. And we are leasing it for 99 years. The guy isn't buying the land, you know. But what you do is you play games. You show a comfort letter that says a guy wanted to buy something. You play, instead of dealing with the core issue, that the people of the South are concerned that 1,000 acres of their land is being put in the hands of a foreigner who has no money. Who has no money for 99 years. That's the core issue. The core issue is, you have a St. Jude's hospital. Right now, bush is growing on it. You have buildings where you spend, instead of dealing with it, the Prime Minister is talking about he wants to have an audit of how the money was spent. I mean, what contempt is that to the people of the country? You instead of dealing with a hospital that is deteriorating, a building where bush is growing on it, bush, you say you want to have a financial audit into how the money was spent. We've said to the Prime Minister, arrest who you want to arrest, bring who you want to justice, do whatever you want, but open the hospital. That's what's important. The health care for the people of the South is what's important. I get very emotional about that, because you have people, now the Prime Minister wants to bring the hospital to Skyways Inn.
Is that true?
This is a little more than rumor. It's a little more than rumor now. But again, if the Prime Minister had used to take people into, he used to treat people with certain respect, he would have called the parliamentary rep of Beaufort South, the parliamentary rep of Beaufort North, and said, listen to me, parliamentary reps, I'm thinking of taking the stadium, and I want to take the people and put them in Skybase Inn. Tell the people that. But no, he doesn't speak to anybody. Contempt, arrogance.
Sir, I don't want to interrupt, but I just wanted to refocus you on the question that she asked, which was what is your opinion on referendum for having a kind of a sense of the national will on particular big issues?
You see, I'll tell you the problem with referendums, right? They normally go according to party lines, which is in Grenada. Grenada, there was a 50-0, and the government lost the referendum. You understand? So, because this is serious. So I'll tell you something. People talk about constitutional change, which is necessary and good, but the key point is people. The Constitution presupposes reasonable people. That's what it presupposes. It presupposes people in government are going to be reasonable. So any reasonable government would know that if you have the majority in the parliament, you have 11 and the opposition has 6. You expect the opposition to deplete its ranks to appoint a deputy speaker? I mean, who in their right senses, if I, as opposition leader, as leader of the Labour Party, ever advise my party to do that, I need to be removed. So I would advise my party to deplete its numbers because the government wants to make everybody a minister. I mean, face it. But that is what we did in St. Lucia. Again, the Constitution doesn't presuppose people would think like that. It presupposes men would be rational and men would follow certain conventions. And again, the Sir John Compton that he speaks about all the time, Sir John Compton always got somebody from his ranks to be deputy speaker. And I want to reiterate, you're not going to be appointed one.
I just wanted to get
And the excitement with the speaker has just begun.